And I think about those patterns today, those patterns that we get caught up in mentally. And it is a battle of the mind. And we go through these progressions all day long, wondering, what am I going to do next? Where's that money going to come from? Where are we going to get food? And we get so caught up in this pattern, and it is evil. They talk about ghosts. People believe that ghosts are real. And I said, how many ghosts have you seen that really do a full thought out day? They always seem to do the same thing. They call it a familiar spirit, whatever they want to call it. I don't even want to give it that name. Anything that has Holy Spirit or anything, I don't want to give them any credit there. That's how much I can't stand the enemy. And I think, how much of a thought out pattern do they do a day? You hear me say pattern now. They don't do a whole lot. It's usually the same thing. Saw somebody walking by a window. I can hear footsteps. It's always the same thing. They're not in there cooking dinner. They're not in there cleaning house. Those are the things that you rebuke, and you don't give into those things. But I started realizing how much of that is conjured up in our own heads. Growing up in dysfunction. And there's not a person out there that has not grown up in dysfunction in some shape or form. You didn't have perfect parents. Yes, you might have had a good life, but we all grew up in dysfunction. And yes, some buckets are a lot deeper than other buckets. I can remember the things that I did to dig that hole. And I say digging a hole because I was digging a grave, the patterns that I was stuck on. And I dug that hole deep. And I thought, am I ever going to get out of this? And as that wall climbed, that wall of dirt and mud and filth and sin that I've left behind, not just mine, but even my past generations, hereditary, ancestry, trying to take a stronghold on who I am, put chains around my wrists and around my ankles, pulling that ball and chain everywhere you go. Speak it to you every day. You're going to be just like him. He was just like him. He was just like him. Just like her, just like her, just like her. And we hear these echoes, these patterns that follow space and time and follow us around. And every now and then you get that one sheep that wanders off. And I always thought, why would a shepherd go off for one sheep and leave the rest of that flock here? I thought he must have had somebody else with him, maybe a sheepdog, a helper. And I thought, or would he go off because that sheep was the sheep that he was looking for, to be a little bit different, to wander off? We got names for them. The ones that just don't quite fit in to our family mix. And I realized today that I'm okay with being that, not fitting in. I'm attacked by the enemy every day of my life. And I've gotten to the point that I recognize what the enemy is, and it's a pattern, it's a lie, an illusion of such. But I wonder, how much do we conjure up ourselves believing in that, putting faith into that instead of putting faith into Jesus Christ and what the Lord is doing for us?